Very good morning to all of you. So welcome to today's discussion. In the previous class, we have seen how we can develop better graphical user interfaces by using the swing components. The different swing components what we have studied in the previous class were the JText field component, which was allowing us to enter a line of text for interacting with the program. That was JText field. And the one more component what we studied were JLabel and image icon. JLabel and image icon were the two components or the swing components what we have studied in the previous class. And we have also studied how to use the images or icons for creating graphical user interfaces. Along with the text label, we can also make use of the images for creating labels. Now in this class, we will be discussing about the different types of swing buttons. That means buttons are basically the entities or components which allow us to interact by pressing the button with the program. So the fundamental types of buttons supported by swing are J button, J toggle button, J checkbox and radio button. So these are the four fundamental buttons supported by the swing. That means each and every type of button is having its own functionality which will allow us to create the required type of graphical user interface. Which will allow us to create the required type of graphical user interface. So the four types of button what we are going to study is J button, J toggle button, J checkbox and the radio button. And all these are nothing but subclasses of a superclass called abstract button. The abstract button is a superclass which is going to provide the basic functionalities for all the types of buttons. So what abstract button is going to contain? It is going to contain the methods or a set of methods which are going to control the behavior of the buttons. The set of methods are supported in the abstract button class, which is going to control how the button should behave whenever you are talking with the program. For example, we can define different icons for the button whenever it is disabled or whenever it is pressed or whenever it is selected. So different types of interactions we can do. So the set of methods provided by the icons, whatever they are going to select, if you are creating by using icons, that means the first method is set disabled icon, set pressed icon, set selected and rollover. That means these are the possible things what we can do with the buttons. And for each and every action, one corresponding method is defined. For each and every action, one corresponding method is defined, which will call the action listener for that action, whatever you do with the button. So we'll be looking with the help of a corresponding example program. Right? So as we know, the text associated with the button can be read. That means if you want to obtain what is the text label that you have given for the button, that is possible by calling the method called getText. And if you want to set some value for the text, we can invoke the method called setText method. So the names are self-explanatory. Now let us see the first type of button among the four types of buttons, J button. So the J button is basically going to provide the feature of a push button. That means we have to, if you want to select some option by pressing a button, we implement the J button class. We implement the J button class. So J button will also allow the icon. You can also use the icon, or we can also use a string, or both to be associated with a push button. So the J button class allows all types of things what we can do. If you want, you can go for only text based button, or you can go with icon based button, that means image based button, or you can also make use of combination of both image as well as the icon. So with this, it has three types of constructors. JButton, which takes the constructor which takes only icon or the image as the parameter, then the constructor which takes only text as a parameter or string as a parameter, and the constructor which can take both as a parameter. That means the image along with the label, which can take both as a parameter. And here in these constructors, it is the text what we are going to display, and it is the image what we have selected for creating the button. So as usual, what we know, whenever some action is generated, the corresponding action event will be called. In this case, we are creating a button and we are selecting a button or we are pressing a button. So whenever a button is pressed, what happens? An action event will be generated. What is the type of action we have performed? The type of action we have performed is we have pressed the button. We have pressed the button onto the created graphical user interface. Now, as we know, by using the action event object passed to the action perform method of the, which is registered to the action listener. That means what type of event you have performed. The details of the action can be obtained by using the object. Which object? Action event object, which is implicitly passed to the action perform method. That is, implicitly it will be passed to the method, and that is registered with the corresponding action listener. That means ultimately what happens here is, whenever, if this is a button, if this is a push button, whenever you press this button, the corresponding action listener will be called. Corresponding action listener will be called. And in this action listener, you can get the type of action by using action event object. By using the action event object. So which we will see later in the program. And by default, the action command, we can obtain the action command, which is nothing but the string associated with the button. That means text. Whatever text you have given with the button, that is the default command. If you are not going anything else, that will be the default command. So we can set the action performed by calling set action command on the button. That means other than doing the default action, if you want to do something else, if you want to perform something else, that we can indicate with the default method provided called set action command. And we can also obtain the action by invoking the method called get action command. So all these are predefined implicit methods present in the JButton class. So this is the general syntax for obtaining the action command. So let us see one example program. How can we create an efficient graphical user interface? That is icon based button we are creating. We are going to create an icon based button in this program. We are going to create an icon based button in this program. And what basically the textbook says here is 4 buttons are created, 4 push buttons are created, and every button is going to display an icon representing the flag of some country. So some buttons are there. Whenever you press on those buttons, they are going to represent the flags of some countries, along with the text message will be displayed to which particular country the flag belongs to. But for implementation purpose, I have taken some other images instead of the flags. That means what the textbook says here is, it is the flag of they have taken icon of a France flag, then Germany flag, then Italy flag, then probably one more country called Japan. So 4 different images they have considered, and those images are flags of different countries. Now this same program, I have taken it here for explanation purpose. That is demonstration of an icon based JButton. We are trying to implement the JButton class, and specifically we are using the icon based button. That means we are creating icon based buttons. right? So these are the necessary import statements which we know already they are required for creating the Swing based applications. Now the code applet code tag indicates that JButtonDemo is the class which has to be executed whenever we run this program. And the display area for that applet is 250 pixels width and 450 pixels of height. This is the default display area what we are going to specify. Further, if you want, we can change that. Now, as we know, every Swing class should extend the JApplet superclass. Like how every applet will extend the applet class, if you are going to create Swing based applications, they must extend or inherit the JApplet superclass. And along with that, we should implement the action listener interface. We should implement the action listener interface because that interface is having methods, corresponding methods which are present for handling the event, which are responsible for handling the type of event created by the user. This is JLabel object. So JLabel class and JLAB is an object. So what we are trying to do here is JLAB, an object is being created. This is one object and for which the reference variable is JLAB, that is JLabel. And this is same as that of the previous discussion. That is applet initialization method. As we know, applet has different methods. Initialization method is the one in which we are going to begin the execution of the applet. And here it is going to make use of the method called invoke and wait of the Swing utilities class. So what is the meaning of invoke and wait here is it will wait until the GUI function is returning. That means the complete graphical user interface must be created first. So it will execute independently on one thread and it will wait until the run method is returning, because we are going to create the graphical user interface within the run method of the runnable interface. So here we call the graphical user interface to create the icon based buttons, and the whole code is kept within the try block. So during executions, if any issues because of some reasons, if we are not able to create the GUI, then the corresponding error will be handled by the catch block if we are not able to create the graphical user interface. Now from the main function we are calling the make GUI function. Now let us see in the definition of make GUI function. That is, from here we have called the definition of make GUI function. So we are creating the graphical user interface now. By default we are setting the layout as flow layout, and we are creating different buttons and adding them to the content pane. We are creating different buttons and adding them to the content pane. So what is basically the content pane is? Content pane is the container which contains the different components. Now by default the components will be added to the content pane by calling the add method. For our understanding purpose, what I'll do, I'll take this as the content pane. Right? So this is Swing and this is applet. So let us have some assumption like this. Now we are creating the button. So what the very first line indicates here is, in the LHS part, we are creating a reference variable called France of type image icon. That means France is an object of type image icon which can hold one image, which can store one image. That is, France is a reference variable now. Now what it indicates here is we have created France as a reference variable. So that I will write it here. We have created France as a reference variable which can contain, which can hold some image. That is LHS part. In the RHS part, what we are doing here is we are creating a new image icon or new image based icon by passing the image as the parameter. What is the image being passed here? If image being passed here is France.gif, that is some image we are passing, and that image is passed to the image icon method, and some new image based icon will be created, and that icon will be assigned to France. That is something like this. We have created one image and say this is some image present within, content present within that image. So France is one icon what we have created now after this line. The next line what it says here is we are creating one button by using this icon. This icon we are passing to the JButton constructor. See here, JB is an object of class JButton. What we are trying to do here is JB is an reference variable for JButton, and in the RHS part we are calling JButton constructor by passing this France as the parameter. By passing this France as the parameter, that is string. We are passing the string as the parameter. Not string, one second. Here this line, by passing this icon, not this one. Not this one. Yes, this as the parameter. So what is this France here? This is nothing but the icon what we have created just now. This is nothing but the icon what we have created. So new button will get created. What is new button now? JB is the new button which is having, for understanding purpose I am adding, which is having the icon now whatever we have created here just now. This France is being passed. This icon based image is passed to this J button. Now this is one button what we have created. Now once that button is created, we are what should happen whenever you press that particular button? So what is the action command here? Is action command is simply one string called France. Action command is simply one string called France will be displayed. That means the action command corresponding to this button is France. That is implicit text for that is France. Here in this place you can give any other value, any other names also. To practice you give different strings here, then you will come to know how the programs work. Now finally we are adding action listener for that button. Finally we are adding corresponding action listener for that button. So by default what action listener does? Action listener is going to display the string associated with that particular button. The string associated with this button is France. And finally in this line we are adding that component, we are adding that button to the content pane, that is add JB. What is JB? JB is this button. If we assume that this is the content pane, then JB will get added here. Actually this is the button which will get added. It may not be exactly like this whenever we execute, right? And for this the label given could be France. Right, one button we have created by passing image of the France. Similarly here we are creating one more icon based button. All the functionalities are same. Now here the icon here is we are giving some image called Germany.gif, and similarly action command is Germany for this. So we are creating one more icon based button here. I think I need not explain that. One more icon based button, and it is called as Germany. Next we have one more icon called Italy. That is one more icon based button is getting created with then only this is changed. All the remaining lines are same. Italy, one more button is created and another one is Japan. So totally 4 buttons will get created. So I'll write it here as there is no space. And 4. So France, Germany, Italy and Japan. So what we have done is we have created 4 icon based buttons and we have added those icon based buttons to the content pane. We have added those icon based button to the content pane, right? Now, once we have added those to the content pane, we are creating one simple label and adding that to the content pane. What is the label in this case? We are asking user to choose any given flag out of the 4 flags given, choose any one flag. So that is the label we are creating, and that label is also being added to the content pane. So what label getting added is, as there is no space here, I'll write it here. Choose any flag. Some label will be given to the user. Some message will be given to the user. What is the message here? Choose a flag. Choose a flag or select any flag from the given set of 4 flags. Now, whenever you press any of the buttons, what is the action performed? What is the corresponding action performed is just we are obtaining that action performed from the action event object, which is implicit to each and every button, and we are just obtaining the that action command from that object by invoking get action command method. So what it does here is, in this case, it is the name associated with the label associated with the button. For example, if you have selected France, then it will be having something called France. So what will be the outcome after concatenating? It will be something like you selected France. It will be something like you selected France. And then this string, we are calling the setText method onto the JLab component, onto the JLabel component. We are setting the text. That means for this label, we are assigning the text value as you selected France. For this label, we are assigning the value as you selected France. That means one label, whatever you have given here, the new label will be displayed here. The updated label will be displayed saying that you selected France. Updated label will be displayed as you selected France. If you have selected France, if you are going to select something else, then again that display will be changing. So this is how we can use different buttons to create Swing-based applications. Let us see the demonstration part for that. Right, button demo.java. First, we'll compile the program as well, and then we'll make use of the applet viewer. Applet viewer. Which applet we are trying to execute? We are trying to execute jbutton demo.java. Here just the images, I have taken different images. Other than the France, here I have taken different images. Here. The space is not sufficient here. I'm just enlarge this. Okay. Right. As you can see, these are the 4 different flags. Labels are same, but what we have done here is the images I have taken different images. Here you can take any other images for creating icon based buttons. So these are the 4 buttons what we have created. As you can see, the J button is the class which is being executed, and in the message it says here is in the beginning applet has started. By default it will be there in the status window, and here message which is being given to user is choose a flag. Here anything else you can give. So if I click on the first button, so I have taken the mouse and I am trying to click on that. So what I have done, I have just clicked. You can change the message. It is getting changed to you selected France, because that is the corresponding action. I will go to program and show you again. Yes. What is the action command here is action command is simply the string associated with that. And what the action listener does, action listener is going to display the same string onto the screen. And that is being obtained with this method. As I said, if you have selected France, the string will be France here, then it will be concatenated as you selected France, and that will be given to the text field, and that text field will be overwritten. Every time you select different button, that text field will be overwritten. As you can see here, this is the text field here, and this is being overwritten every time you select other button. So if I select the next button here, you can change. It is changing. The same text field is again getting overwritten because we have only one text field, and that is a dynamic component which is changing based on the type of button what you select. Here we are writing it as you selected Germany. Next, I am going for third button. What it says, you selected Italy. Then when I go to fourth button, I click on the fourth button. What it says, whenever you click on the fourth button, it says that you selected Japan. So that is how we can create some icon based GUIs. Icon based GUIs. So this you are free to change it, right? So as you change it, the icons will automatically adjust themselves. Icon will automatically adjust themselves. Right? Okay, this was one sample applet, that is swing based applet, which demonstrated different buttons, swing buttons, 4 types of buttons. So next, this is what is the sample output which is shown from the button from the textbook. In the textbook, they have given this output. But instead of this, I have taken some other image. So these are the 4 images, and this is what is the sample output what we have seen just now. Now the next type of component here is J toggle button. The name itself says if you want to toggle between only 2 options, that is on and off, true and false, then we go for making use of the toggle button. It is a small variation of the push button. But the difference between push and toggle button here is it has 2 options. Push button has 2 options, that is pushed and released. Push button has only one option, but it has 2 options. It can toggle between 0 and 1. It can toggle between on and off. It can toggle between true and false. That means whenever you press a toggle button, it says pressed rather than popping back up as a rectangular push button. In the rectangular push button, what happens? It will pop back. Whereas in toggle, the button will remain there itself. It will not come back. I just try to show you that. Here in the push button, what happens? Whenever I click that, you can see the button is not, it is coming back again to the normal state. You press and release it. Whereas in toggle button, it will be there in any one of the state, either in off or in the on. We'll see the demonstration. Then things will be clear. So when you press the toggle button for the second time, then it releases the button. That means it will come to the up state. Whenever you press for the first time, it will be entering into the push state or the pressed state. Or whenever you press it for the second time, then it will come back to released state or pop state. The meaning here is each time whenever you press the button, the toggle button is going to toggle between the 2 states, that is pressed and released. So as usual, the toggle buttons are objects of J toggle button is super class for this, and they are also implementing the abstract button. And this is one type of the constructor for the J toggle button. And basically what parameter it is going to take? It is going to take one text based parameter, some label as a parameter which you provided as an input. So very similar to J button, it is also going to generate the event. It will also generate the event and the corresponding action listener will be called, and if you want, you can perform any of the corresponding actions, or you can display the messages also to the user. And how the listener for this works here is, if you want to check whether the toggle button is pressed or released, whether the toggle button is on or off, to identify that, there is one method called is selected, which will have two values, either true or false. It will be true if you have selected the toggle button. It will be false if you have deselected the toggle button. So that is selected Boolean function will be using in our program. This is the sample text program, that is jToggleButton.demo.java. I'll take that program. I have copied this program here for explanation purpose. Yes, jToggleButton demonstration for jToggleButton. How a button created by using swing can toggle between two options, that is press and release. Necessary header files, and this is the corresponding applet code for that, which code is being executed whenever we run this program. jToggleButton class is being executed. That is this particular class, jToggleButton, which is going to extend the JApplet superclass. Here we are declaring two components. This is as usual for displaying some text based label, and this is for creating the toggle button. So JTBN is an object of type jToggleButton, and this object can store the toggle button, which can change always between true and false. So two objects we are declaring, JLabel and the toggle button. So as usual, this part is same, no difference in this initialization. Only thing is the difference lies in the graphical user interface, how we create the GUI. Now coming to the graphical user interface. So let us assume roughly there is some content pane for this applet. Yes, this is the content pane for this applet. Now after setting the flow layout, we are just creating one label. What is the label? By default, we are starting with the fact that button is off, and we are creating a new label. And what is the string being passed to the label? Button is off, and that is assigned to the JLabel. That is assigned to the JLabel. So what is basically JLabel is containing? JLabel is containing some string called button is off. It's going to contain some string called button is off. Right, then we are creating one new toggle button which can always toggle between press and released. In this case, specific names are given as on or off. So what we are going to create here is, we are creating new button by giving some label as on bar off to that. Is we are creating one button, that is JTBN by passing on or off. That is some label given to that. And once the button is created, next we are adding listener for the toggle button. Then we are adding listener for the toggle button. For this JTBN, we are adding add item listener method. We are adding listener for that, action listener. That is, whenever you press on that button, what should happen in the background? And that add item listener method is being called on the JTBN object, that is JButton object. So this has, we are declaring one method within that. What is that? Item state changed. That means which is going to contain the present state of the item. In this case, item is this J toggle button. What is the present state that we are going to display? Because only if you want, you can write any other set of codes within these opening bracket and closing bracket. But in this case, what we are trying to do here is we are just trying to display only one thing, whether the button is selected or button is released. So how do we check that? Onto the button, invoke the isSelected method. As I said, isSelected method is a Boolean function which will return true, two values, either true or false. If the button is selected, it will return true. Then what it will do, if this entire thing is true, what happens? We will give a message saying that button is on. Else part, button is off. Only two things are being displayed. And finally, the button and label both are being added to the content pane. So what is this button? This is the button which is being added to the content pane. On or off. See, with these two statements I am telling. Add the button to the content pane, then add the label to the content pane. What is the label here? Label is button is off. Button is off. By default, we are starting like button is off. And if you press that, it will change again to button is on. If you press it again, it will change to off. On and off, it will be toggling between the two possible options. It will be toggling between the two possible options. Because in some of the applications, real-time applications, you may want to perform a set of actions whenever you select some button. Like how you can see, if the button is on, the power supply will be on and the fan or the lights will be on. You can pass the power supply to the fan and fan will start rotating whenever the button is on. If you power off the button, the fan should stop rotating. The same way, such functionalities we can implement in the background. Such functionalities we can implement in the background, and this is what is foreground or graphical user interface what we are dealing with. Right? So let us see the demonstration part for this JToggle button. Java C JToggle button. JToggle button demo. Make use of applet viewer. JToggle button dot Java. Right? As you can see, how we have created the graphical user interface. First is the initial text. Now I'll try to go back to the program. Right? This is what we have seen. Right? So first, by default, the on and off button is being created and the string being given is button is off in the beginning. Right? What is the label that we are giving in the beginning? Label what we are giving is button is off. So the first beginning message being given to user is button is off. And later we are creating one toggle button with the label called on or off on that. So as you can see, the toggle button is being created which has on or off display message on that. And then the action listeners we are adding. What are the action listeners? Depending on the status or state of the button. If the button is selected, it will change to on. If the button is not selected, it will change again to off. Now button is not selected. I am clicking on that button. I have clicked on that button and you can see the message has changed to button is on. It has changed to button is on. And you can see for the display area of this button is also changed to dark. It has been changed. Now I will press on that once again. You can change. You can see that the color is changing for that button and the status is changing back to button is off. I'll press once again. Button is on and it is changing its color just to indicate the difference. Now when I press again onto this, it is going to change again to off. So button is on, off, on, off. It's just toggling between two states. And when I close on this, the applet, the execution of applet will stop. Right. So next we have checkboxes. That means some set of options will be given to user. Some set of options will be given, and we are going to create the checkboxes to enable the user to select the options and deselect the options. So the checkbox is a component for which is going to allow that particular option to the user. So checkbox, as again, it defines one type of constructor which takes the text as the parameter. So let us see the program directly, because most of the functionality is same. So let us see how the checkboxes can be implemented. So checkboxes means some set of options will be given and you are supposed to select one of the options. This is the possible output of this program. So this is what is the checkbox, and you will be asked to select some of the items from this, because while creating our graphical user interfaces, we will be using such type of options also, and you might have used such options in your day-to-day lives whenever you are browsing the internet, whenever you are performing online shopping, or whenever you select some of the items. So such checkboxes will be given for the users. So let us see how to create such checkboxes. So necessary packages are imported. The code which will be executed whenever you run this is the applet code, that is J checkbox demo. And here as usual we are creating one label component, J label. This is the initialization method in which it will cause the thread to be executed on event dispatching thread. Right? Then we'll call the make GUI method as usual. If any issues, that will be handled within this particular catch block. Now let us create the graphical user interface in make GUI method. So flow layout is being set as a value for the layout. Then we are creating one new checkbox. In this program, 4 different checkboxes are being created. Here CB is an object. CB is an object of type checkbox. That means which can hold one checkbox. Which can hold one checkbox. And in RHS part, what we are trying to do here is we are calling the constructor called J checkbox by passing string C as the parameter. So basically what it will do, it will create one string with C as the parameter, the corresponding implicit C as the parameter for the checkbox. Like how I can share here is here. Just beside that it is showing. I have taken it here, but actually it will show beside that. Right, what we have done, we have created one checkbox and we add item listener for that. What is the item listener? What should happen whenever you click on that? And by default in our examples, we are just obtaining the string value present in that. What is the string value? In this case, it is C. And we are adding that checkbox to the content pane. And we are adding that checkbox to the content pane. Say for example, if you assume this is what is the content pane, if you assume this is what is the content pane, what we do, we first add the checkbox C to the content pane. We have added C checkbox called C to the content pane. Next, we are adding one more checkbox called C++ to the content pane. One more checkbox will be there, and its name is C++. Just beside that, and another checkbox is being created with the label called Java, and fourth checkbox with the label called Perl. Right? Any number of checkboxes you can create. So this is the content pane. Let's assume this is the content pane, and 4 checkboxes we have created. And we are also creating one label. We are also creating one label and adding that to the content pane. What is the label here? Select the languages. So here we will give message below this here. Select the languages of your choice. Select languages of your choice. Now what? The content pane is ready with the 4 checkboxes and a text-based label. 4 checkboxes and a text-based label. Now, whichever checkbox you select during the execution, its state will get changed. That is for that corresponding event, whichever you have selected. That means if you have selected, for example, C button, you have clicked onto the checkbox C, then the item event related with the C will be present within the item event object. Get the item, in this case, what is that? It is C. Now, on to that, see, that is the item selected is being assigned to CB object. Now, on to that CB object, we check is it selected. If it is selected, whatever is the text corresponding to that, you obtain that. If you have selected C, it will be returning C. That means it will return something like this: C is selected. If you are selecting that particular checkbox, corresponding checkbox. If you are selecting C++ checkbox, then output will be something like this: C++ is selected. The reverse is also possible. If you deselect that, you have selected some items. If you want to unselect that also, that option also you should be able to give to the user. User has selected 10 items, and if they want to deselect some of the items, that option also must be given to user. What that option says? It is clear. That means if you have selected C++ and if you deselect that, it will saying that C is clear. If you have selected C++ and if you want to deselect that, then the message will be something like this: C++ is clear. So let us see the demonstration for this. C. The name of the class is J checkbox demo. Okay. J checkbox demo.java. Right, make it of applet viewer. Right, we have created one more graphical user interface. I'll go to the program back again. Yes, as you can see, this is one simple graphical user interface. We can see if you increase its size, here label is coming below this. Depending on you are allowed to change it in whatever way you want. So I'll make it convenient like this. Select the language. Okay, I'll make it like this. So 4 options are given. So the initialization will be done. Then next what we are doing here is we are creating 4 checkboxes. Then we are adding them to the content pane. Up to here it is ready. What we have done, we have created 4 checkboxes and we have given a message saying that select the languages. Then you select any of the options, the corresponding item, whether it is selected or deselected, that will be displayed. So I will click on C. As you can see, the message is coming like C is selected. I will click on C++. So you can see the message is getting changed to you have selected C++ or C++ is selected. When you click on Java, Java is selected. When you click on Perl, Perl is selected. So if you want to deselect some of the items, I will click on Java now. What it says? Java is clear. Because if you don't want some of the item, you should be able to deselect them. Similarly, C is cleared, C++ is cleared, and Perl is clear. This is how the checkboxes will help the user to select some of the items. And frequently, we will be using such GUIs in online shopping while selecting some of the items. I'll just close the execution of the applet. So in this class, we have seen some of the buttons. There is one more 4th button which we will be discussing in the next class.